Stream going.
Wait, hold on a second. I might be a fool.
Oh, we know that already.
All
right. So, who would like to give a quick recap of our last session?
I think I should.
Alright, Brian, go ahead. You did actually hear everything most recently.
Yeah, you're probably the best person to give that recap.
Yeah, and so we were coming from Franco's place. We had escaped that big fucking Bahir construct. We went downstairs just for the dragon on Kai's shoulder to be like, look at this fucking thing. And we went upstairs, and then we heard the announcement that Feather died, and Gideon, who's in the Boros, made no comment. And then we heard that we had to...
I would also like to give a quick reminder to the people who were here from the beginning. Feather is the angel that you guys all interacted with when you protected the guild hall in, like, session 3.
Yes, I am aware of that, and acknowledge the fact that Feather got a promotion in the time that we have been playing.
Anyway.
I did not remember that.
Hi, Cardi.
Shut up. Anyway. And then we heard on the everyone heard on the loudspeakers that within an hour everyone had to be clear of the streets, either to their guild halls or just to some residence. And then so after a tiny bit of putzing around, and Escher continuing to kind of carry Connor, you decided to go to the tavern, and then he said hi to Wyroon and got some drinks, but that he was really busy because a bunch of people were trying to take shelter there. And you went into the room with her to tell her about your success with Franco, and then proceeded to tell her every fucking thing we know about what we're trying to do. And then she was taking notes and has now blackmailed us. And so now in order to get out of that, or in order to avoid them actually using the information she got from us, we had to go kill some dude beetle in Rix Maadi or whatever.
So, addendum to the last part. We have a contract now to find Beetle and get Beetle to sign a contract saying that Beetle will not say anything.
Or kill him.
Or kill Beetle.
Fallish is fine with either as long as he is silenced permanently.
Yes, and so we must go get him within 30 days.
Beetle's in Rix Maadi?
It's like
we don't know where Beetle is.
You know that Beetle is in Rakdos territory, but you don't know specifically where. So that could be Rix Maadi, that could be Winlot, that could be the throughways in between, or like one of the nightclubs.
Yes.
It's kind of up in the air. You just know he's in Rakdos territory.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then basically, other than talking a bunch, one of the other things was that us Boros, even though I was hiding it from Fallish because I've tried to make sure that she doesn't know I am a Boros, we got some new messages saying that we're trying to declare war on the Rakdos to eliminate them, and then that the Rakdos prisoners are going to be executed tomorrow morning.
Yep, and at that point, you all took a long rest and excitingly leveled up. So, let's get the long rest in. So, 8 hours...
Also, I have a body in a bag.
You do. 8 hours will put you around 9:30 p.m. when you are completely rested. As it was a bit past 1 when you got here, and you spent some time, like, speaking to Fallish, getting everything done before you decided to take a long rest. So, you are all now rested, but it's pretty late evening at this point, and no notice has come out that the curfew keeping people off of the streets has been lifted.
Gotcha. Do us Boros have any blinking notifications?
Yes. So, there are a few messages that have come through in the last 8 hours. So, for the Boros, we get the following.
To all active members of the Boros Legion, The Chamber of the Guild Pact has accepted that we are allowed to open war on Rix Maadi and Winlock. We are not to involve any other guilds, and this is an inter-guild warfare. They have not revoked the Rakdos' right as a guild. This means we can only kill them in retaliation and on Rakdos territory. We will be building a military force to go into Rix Maadi and Winlock to take the fight to them before they are able to take it to us. Report to your guild halls in the next day for assignment in the upcoming war.
So that is what the Boros Guild members hear as they kind of like come out of their rest, see the blinking lights on their signets, and like conjure the message to listen to. And as well, we have 2 other messages that have come through. One is for... Yeah, so we have 2 other messages that have come through. One is for Escher through the Simic Guild.
Oh, he doesn't care.
Okay, you do not have to listen to it. And one is for Kai.
I'm here. Have
Would
I
you
been
like-
reassigned into the Boros?
No problem.
Yes, I would like to hear it.
Azorius Guild members. Martial law has been enacted by the Chamber of the Guild Pact, and there will be an inter-guild combat between the Boros Legion and the Cult of Rakdos. We are not to participate, and any crimes that are done during this period are only to be prosecuted if done in the 10th District, as opposed to in Winlock or Rix Maadi. The Chamber of the Guild Pact has decided that anyone on Rakdos territory is not to be persecuted for any crimes during time of war. If this is a successful move on the side of the Boros, the Rakdos may fall. We must be the first to establish a new guild if that happens.
That is all you get from your Azorius contact.
Oh, is that it?
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have to like completely focus on these messages in order to hear them, or can you like do other things?
It's like a meditative thing.
Ah, damn, because I was gonna say, because Ezra would totally pop it on in the background, like background music while he's doing other stuff.
Lo-fi beats to study to.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, no, this
Avro
is...
is breathing.
Yeah, this is less like listening to your answering machine while cooking dinner, and more like, all right, you've been handed a dossier and now you have to read through it.
And is it through the ring that he has?
Yes. So all of you, other than Aldrich, have a guild signet for your respective guilds.
And does that like blink to let you know that it's got something?
It does.
Oh, that would set him off so much that that's gonna annoy him to no end. He'll listen to it just to get rid of that.
All right.
Too OCD to let that slide.
It would seem the Boros and Rakdos are going to war. This is good. Any labs who are working on cross-eye development are to go sell them. Category 4s are now licensed to be released to either Boros or Rakdos, whichever bids higher. Category 5s will be used for testing for whichever side is winning the war.
That's it.
Short and sweet.
Asher kind of just looks at the ring, goes, "Oh, finally," and goes back to doing what he was doing.
Yeah, you weren't really in a Crassus development lab, so it doesn't really affect you all that much.
Nah, he doesn't care. He literally just wanted the blinking to stop.
That is all of the messages that have come through to each of you.
I guess it is confirmation to him that the guilds are warring. That is I don't think we actually knew that, did we?
I think Gideon was sharing that that the Boros was going to request a time of war between them and the Rakdos. In the 8 hours since that message, it has been confirmed. The
Was that
of the Guild
information we were
Pact.
given?
Yeah, it was.
I thought Gideon didn't tell us anything about the message.
Oh, possibly not. Regardless, in the 8 hours, it has now been disseminated through the guilds.
You didn't know before, you know now.
Yeah, like, it is wartime. Specifically, only the Boros and the Rakdos are warring. The other guilds are kind of... It's the ally generation phase. There are 2 guilds who are now actively going to war. The other guilds are going to see where their priorities and loyalties lie.
Did somebody say money?
The Simic did, actually.
Yeah.
You don't know that.
Okay, well, they did.
So, as I said in the chat, I want to ritual cast a spell.
Oh, sorry. I did not see that. Which spell?
Illusory script.
Alright.
I'm gonna make it legible to everyone in here, and to everyone not, including Fallish and all those other people. It's just
It's right there.
Yeah, Fallish and Johan are quite literally right next to you. But
everyone in the
Doing
party.
his sneaky stuff literally right next
This
to
is 8 hours in the future, okay? I
that's
don't suspect
true.
Fallish has just been leering over my shoulder for 8 hours.
Not for
It
8
was
hours, but she has been making use of this room for the last 8 hours. Nobody is leaving the tavern, and this is somewhat a reserved room for Fallish that she is letting you all stay in for the time being.
Oh, it's her room.
So to the members of the party, it's gonna say one thing. To anyone else that looks upon it, it's gonna be a bunch of tax records written in Celestial.
Ooh.
Alright. Yeah,
That's kinda
so
cool.
you are able to kind of create a fake Celestial and then... Okay.
Oh,
That's
God.
I love
That's
your
what it says
code
in
speech.
Celestial, right? That's the Celestial?
No, this is the common.
You know what? I'm gonna say that only Gideon can read this because this is obviously Thieves' Cant.
Yeah.
Dang, I didn't go with the, I didn't go with my multi-class option.
What?
But, yeah, no, that you are absolutely able to generate that in common, and then, for the next 10 days, anybody who reads it other than your party members will read it in Celestial. Does it
Wait,
say
am I-
the same thing in Celestial?
In Celestial, it is things like insert business name here, 10% at 50 gold is equal to 5, plus insert business here, 25% plus 16% servants plus 5% syntax onto, and that repeat ad nauseum.
Great. So falsified ledgers. Got it.
Yes.
Yeah,
if
you know
you're
exactly
using
what those
magic-
look like. It's very easy for you to, like, create a fake one.
So, just so I know, so it's like uses magic and different viewers see different things on the page, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Then why didn't you just write normally?
Because it can revert after if it is dispelled.
It only
Paper
lasts for 10
crumble.
days. After 10 days, it's no longer illusory script. So if this is found in 11 days, people will read it in common.
The script is so funny.
I'm guessing. Can we metagame this and fucking translate it?
Yeah.
So, donuts, I'm assuming, are the 2 Boros members.
Yes.
Paperwork is you.
No, you
God.
are
No,
paperwork.
Kai,
I'm
I think you're
Electrum.
paperwork.
Ah, sorry, I thought the contract writer was paperwork.
I did as well.
Wait,
And I thought
Why is
the
Kai
guy who
paperwork?
has some electric powers would be Electrum.
No, Electrum because Electrum coin.
Why is
Yeah,
Kai
it's money.
paper?
Because he used to be a lawman.
I thought I was guns because I got the gun show.
I'm guns.
No, Tavro's donuts. Along with Gideon. Because they're both donuts.
I am indeed a donut.
Okay, bacteria and mosquito I got.
I don't get it.
Who could that be?
The goblin is gonna walk over to, what is his name? Bacteria. Are we speaking in code names now?
My favorite part is that at the beginning of this campaign, you all had to choose code names.
Oh, I
I'm
did.
goggles.
I don't even remember my code name.
You see, here's the thing. I thought about throwing those in, then I was like, no, because I need another layer of separation for this note from that.
True.
Fair enough.
Okay, so the goblin walks over to Bacteria and holds out the sending stones and say, "Hey, I made these. I thought they could be useful after what you told me."
You made these.
Well, yeah.
May I see?
And she
No.
hands them.
Can I like tell that it's magic just by holding it?
I don't think you can tell just by holding it. No, especially since you're holding both of them, there's not going to be any transmissions going back and forth.
Would I be able to recognize a sending stone? Because I think they're pretty common.
Yes. They look like sending stones. You've seen a sending stone before. That's
Okay.
what this looks like.
Fascinating. I must say, a rather exquisite job. And he would just kind of like look up from all the work he had open, and he would go, "You know, I might have a use for you after all, Goblin."
Oh, also, I was making some extra stuff, and I kind of threw this together because I know you think I don't really play a good part in the group, but I wanted to prove my worth. And she hands him the, what's it called again?
The ring
The
of
ring.
spell storing.
The spell refueling ring.
What?
The who?
Huh?
Alright, Vinny, I'm putting that
What's
on your
that?
character sheet.
Oh, shit, hold on. When did you get this?
You will need to attune to it before you're able to use it, but Clara can explain to you what it is. So I'm just going to give you the description before you attune to it.
Well, you see, I can make things, and I wanted to make you something special because I wanted to prove that I'm really worth this being in this group, you know?
I will never understand how you did that, but I cannot deny that it does seem to be functional. Marvelous.
Clara,
let me just read
trying to
it.
prove herself that she's worthy to be in the group. Meanwhile, she's one of the first ones.
Is Falish in the room right now?
Falish and her bodyguard are in the room.
Clara, what do you say as a thank you? I will buy you a snack from the bar.
Oh, I love snacks.
She's of legal age to drink.
He doesn't know that. And if he does, he doesn't believe it. Come now, anything you want, it's on me. Oh god, walls. Okay.
Go to the tavern part.
To the remaining people, do my tax records look good and clean?
I have
Oh,
no
yeah, I can actually
idea.
read Celestial. Let me come take a look.
Oh yeah, of course. Actually, no, Tavro, you can't even see the tax records.
Oh, that's true.
And by that I meant, does the plan sound fair?
Yes. God. Now I have business in the tavern. Excuse me.
Alright. So, you all are able to kind of discreetly formulate your plan by using this illusory script. And after a brief interaction, Lizzie and Escher head out to the bar with Tavro. And it is still like people have been stuck here since 1 p.m. It's now like 10:30. People are drinking hard. People are blasted. It is like Wirun is just there, and he's kind of just standing behind the bar. Nobody's come up. Like, he looks like he's finally getting a little bit of a break from just constantly managing everything, as everyone around you is drunk to the point of, like, stupor.
Lovely.
Oh, hello, everyone! Done with Falish, then?
Excuse me, Wirun, was it? We've been here for quite some time. The girl is going to need some food.
Yes, of course. And he looks at you. You eat normal goblin grub, or you one of those well-adjusted folks? And you see as he kind of like does air quotes as he says that.
Wild.
Well, my favorite's maggot casserole, if you got any of that.
Not in casserole form, but I do just have some maggots.
Oh, that'll be great.
Yeah, we deep fry him in the back, just in case we get some... we do get a lot of goblins coming in here off of the warehouse shifts, you know, so... We keep stock. And he, like, just pulls out a jar, and you can see as he, like, puts out this jar of, like, glowing... brown, like, not glowing, glistening brown, deep-fried maggots. And he just sets out this, like, solid, like, 2 or 3 gallon mason jar on the counter, and goes, now, it's a copper for 10. How many you want?
Escher looks it over to Clara and goes, I beg you, do not make me regret this. And he pulls out, he only has gold, so he's gonna pull out, actually no, I have some silver. He pulls out 2 silver pieces and slides them to him.
And you see as he just goes, y'all are becoming some of my best customers. And he just, like, reaches a giant hand in, pulls out a huge handful, and kind of, like, slops them into a bowl and puts them in front of Clara. And
He said it
there's
was 2 copper for 10, right?
It was a copper for 10. So with
Yeah,
2
so-
silver...
So much.
Yeah,
Like,
so
yeah.
Escher just says the girl can have as much as she wants.
Yeah, like, you see, like, he's pulling it out, and normally, like, you see when he first pulled it out, he put, like, a little, like, pretzel, like, bar pretzel bowl, and then he put that back with the 2 silver, took out, like, a giant fucking mixing bowl, and just started pouring maggots into it, and then slid it across the counter to Clara.
Oh my.
She just digs her little green hands and starts munching.
Let us find a table. I'm sure there will be other patrons at the bar.
You see as, like, people are kind of just, like, stumbling around. A few people are still arguing. You do see a few people wearing various guild signets, and all of them either look like they are the drunkest out of everyone, or they are, like, they look very concerned while just, like, sipping on a drink.
So, if we go to take it, I feel like if once we go and, like, sit down and take a table, if she's got this big-ass bowl full of these things, there would be a point at which we would kind of look over, take one, sniff it, and pop it into his mouth.
Honestly, it's not bad. Like,
oh yeah, he's done much grosser than that.
It's kind of like it's kind of crunchy. You know, maggots are usually pretty slimy, but because they've been, like, deep fried, all the moisture is gone. So it's kind of just like eating, like, a puff cracker, like a shrimp puff.
They're pretty good, aren't they? And she has, like, this, like, kind of mischievous smile on her face.
I expected that to be far more repugnant than it actually is. I am pleasantly surprised. It is not the worst thing I have ever eaten. Then again, it is also has been cooked, so there is that. Now, and he since we've kind of taken the table, he goes, Clara, I believe there is something you might be able to help me with.
What would that be? As she downs another handful of maggots.
And he would kind of pull open one of his, like, notebooks that he's been writing in and slide it over to you, and there would be this, like, very intricately detailed and, like, all, like almost schematics drawn up for the device that Fallish had. And, like, all kinds of notes about how they work and, like, his theories about how you can get them to function and, like, modifications that could be made to them. It was, like, a lot of very detailed pictures, and he would point to it and go, do you think you could make that?
I guess I could maybe alter one of the
move me to the table.
sending stones to be like this.
If you can do that, I will get you whatever materials you might need, and I will assist in any way I can, but if you could successfully recreate that device and its capabilities, I think it could be a great benefit to us.
She just pulls out all of her wrenches and just starts, like, looking around and, like,
not now. In the future.
Oh!
Perhaps in a different environment than this one.
Okay, as she scoops them back all up into her pouch.
Yeah, I will note, it only takes an action.
Yeah.
The thing you saw is not one of the infusions. This is one of your magical tinkering features, Lizzie.
Oh, it's just that recording thing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Oh yeah, I can do that easy.
You can? How many?
Let me check my brain really quick, and it's
equal to your intelligence modifier minimum of 1.
2 of them!
Oh. That's enough. Do you think you could make me a pair of these when we are in a less conspicuous locale?
Easy, come on, man. I just made you this awesome ring and you're giving me something so easy?
As long as it can be done, that is all that matters, though I will say I'm fascinated by your means of craftsmanship, but regardless, once we are in a more secluded place, we can begin our work. And granted, I don't think we can really. I don't think that's going to be in this tavern, so we might have to wait a wee bit for that.
And
But hey.
around this time, like while you're just standing around and chatting, you'll hear as one of the patrons across the, like, kind of near the entrance, just slams down his drink and goes, "You Rakdos fuckers! Starting a war! Let's get it started right here, right now!" And you see as he starts rushing towards one of the Rakdos people who's just been drinking, and he just starts sprinting at them. Are you guys going to do anything, or are you just going to let this play out?
Am I supposed to do something?
No, you don't have to do anything. It's just a question of what would you like to do, because you can just let it play out.
Who rushes at who?
This guy, right?
This knight is rushing at this acrobat who's kind of just like stumbling around drinking in between the bar and your table.
Do we have a chance to do, like, one thing?
You can use a reaction if you would like.
Can I move?
You can, yeah. You can, like, take one action, bonus action, or reaction or movement.
Pick up goblin, move to this table.
I like to just imagine that, like, you grab Clara by the back of her, like, shirt, lift her up, and then she just scrambles to grab the bowl of maggots as you pull her away.
Absolutely.
I actually would like to try to do something.
And what would that be?
Can I tell by looking at this guy that he's Boros, or is he just...
He does not seem to be wearing a signet.
Gotcha. Yeah, I hold on, I'm not used to this. I'll just look at him and just say, "Halt!" and, cast command on him. Oh, I forgot to do it on him.
And I can just roll the save. Oh, yeah, there we go.
There we are. Fuck. Yeah, I figured I was gonna succeed because my DC is ass.
I mean,
But
also, a
it was
21's
good
gonna succeed just about anything.
Yeah, that's also true. That was my one attempt at stopping this, so...
Yeah. And, like, he almost doesn't even... Like, he's so drunk, he doesn't even seem to notice that you, like, did this to him. Like, you say halt, he doesn't even seem to hear it. He's just rushing at this acrobat.
Yeah.
Would anybody else like to do anything before he gets up there?
The goblin's munching on her maggots like they're popcorn.
Thanks.
Alright.
No.
Yeah, so this guy just rushes at the Rakdos member, and the Rakdos member, who's kind of been swaying, just like looks over to him, and we're gonna see if this hits, and that's gonna determine what I say next. Actually, that really should have been at disadvantage. This guy is fucking blasted. So we're gonna do...
Yeah, but so is the other guy, so he has advantage against him, so it cancels.
It's still real high. And you see as, like, this guy just rushes, he kind of, like, pulls a lance out. Like, he's had one strapped to his back, he pulls it out and just runs this guy through. And at that, Weirun just jumps over the bar and goes, "No fighting in my tavern!" And he is going to jump over, and these three are just gonna fucking fight.
Breaking his own rules.
The knight is still just going at this guy, and,
Were we gonna try to
Murder
sneak
scene.
out of here? Because, like, this would be a good time to try to sneak out.
The
Where
people
would you
in
go?
here aren't the ones trying to stop us, though. It's the people outside that are the problem.
Yeah, but don't we have to go places?
Yeah, but the curfew's in place.
Yeah, where would you go?
Like, we could leave anytime we want. That's not the issue.
Oh, I thought we were waiting to go to do the other items.
Well, I thought we were just waiting until this mandatory curfew was over, because, like, obviously they can't just keep us here forever.
Okay.
At least that's what I thought. If somebody else makes a run for it, like, we can go. I may have just read the room wrong.
Yeah, I mean, like, once again, it's up to all of you, and Weirun just kind of jumps over the bar, grabs him, and then starts just pulling him back, and you see as Weirun just takes him, brings him over here, and then straps him to one of the crosses, chaining him in.
Wait, I'm sorry, he crucifies him?
He didn't impale him through. He literally just grabbed the guy, picked him up, carried him over, and then shackled him.
Oh.
And he just looks around and goes, "I've told you all so many times today, no fighting. We are not at war." And you just see as this guy's like drunk and straining against the things and shouting for a moment before he kind of just like gives up and slumps against his shackles.
Is the guy dead or actually just unconscious?
He was not hit with, like, he would be unconscious because he didn't have double his max HP done.
In that case, I'll do Spare the Dying instead of Gentle Repose to stabilize him.
Gotcha. And this guy is just now unconscious. Like, as you stand above him and just cast some basic life-preserving magic on him, he kind of, like, stabilizes, and the wound seals up just enough that his breathing kind of stabilizes. But he is still just passed out on the floor.
Wait, who? This guy?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Wait here.
Is there a doctor in the house?
I will burn a use of my healer's kit, and I believe that gets him back up.
Oh. When do your healer's kits regenerate? Because if you'll come up and do that, I won't cure wounds.
They don't?
Oh.
But, so if I use it to stabilize a dying creature, it regains 1 hit point. So I'm just gonna use that so he's conscious.
Right, because you have the healer feat, right?
Hmm?
Alright. Yeah, so he is now conscious at 1 hit point, and he just looks up at you and goes, "Ha! Thanks!"
Part of the job. Don't do that again, please.
He just looks up at you and goes, "I am the one who got stabbed."
Yes! Don't do it again!
And he just looks at you and then starts laughing, and then, like, as he does, he starts to grip his sides in pain as the wound kind of reopens, and he's, like, laughing and coughing, and then just goes, "Alright."
Anyway,
Yeah,
brother.
just kind of shrugs and walks off.
Are you saying that to Weirun, Tavro?
Yes. Also, Kai and Aldrich, are you actually standing, like, right there?
Oh. Yeah. I mean, if this is where you guys were, because Aldrich was looking to where the rest of the group was.
Gotcha. I'll actually come around to here just so I can be on the bar, like, right in front of him. And I will say, like, brother.
Yes, Tavro!
A small tankard of wyvern venom.
And he looks at you and goes, I could use that after today. And
I just
And
whispered your
I'll also bring out one of those pastries for us to share.
And, like, he sets down a glass in front of you as you set down the pastry in front of him, and you both just give each other a stoic nod.
I would like to pull the Rakdos man over to the table and say, but we did do the services. How would you like to pay?
And he just looks at you and goes, pay for what?
The healing. You would have been dead without us.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm perfectly fine.
Fair point. Allow me to return you, as I'm gonna start, like, channeling a cantrip into my hands.
No, you just poke his wound. That's only...
You could just punch him.
It's like, oh, what's in here?
I hear this has curing powers. Just pulls out a lemon.
What cantrip
don't start
are
a
you
fight.
preparing?
Can I flavor that, Pull the Dead doesn't fire off, but he just, like, starts hearing the, a bell in his mind, like a funeral bell?
Sure. So, as the sound of, like, funeral bell, as the sound of, like, church bells ring out as if a funeral were about to, like, start its procession, Wirun just, like, sticks his head out from next to Tavro and points at you and goes, thin ice! And then goes back to chatting with Wirun. Give me an intimidation check.
Can I use my bardic inspiration on him?
And you know what? He's good. That's gonna be against his charisma. And as these bells start chiming, and he, like, the vision of his own funeral procession, like, you can see it kind of, like, flash across his eyes. His face just fills with fear, and he just goes, fine, fine, fine. What's the cost? I'll pay it.
What's the standard cost of a level 1 spell?
There's things more valuable than gold.
It is 200 gold per spell level at an Orzhov church.
Fox is just gonna, like, pull out a few pieces of paper and it's like, yes. So, healing kits, stabilize, spare the dying, cure wounds. Oh, that's quite the bill. I'm looking at 200 or so gold. Of course, there are other alternative payment methods we could come up with.
Yeah, and he just looks at you and he goes, I think the alternatives might be in order.
And is he wearing a Rakdos signet?
He is.
Well, perhaps take a seat. Perhaps we got off on a bit of a shaky foot there. We can get some drinks for you. Make sure you're all well rested and well.
And he kind of, like, shakily gets to his feet and then sits down at the table next to you and goes, all right. What do I have to pay you with?
Well, I'm willing to forgive these debts if in exchange you might be able to help us with the whole debacle with your guild. I see you have a key into Rix Maadi. Is that not true?
Well, not a key per se, but yes, I can enter the guild hall. I don't have a key rune. Only Neoser gives those out. But with my signet, I'm allowed access.
Is there usually a, like, gatekeeper that is, like, you present, like, this signet to and they let you through, or is it, like, you do the door and then it, like, opens to you?
Well, it's... And he just looks at you and he goes, it's Neoser. He's the guardian of the guild gate. It's in the basement of the Gore house.
Meta out of character. I think the best thing we could get off of him is one of us changes into him and we borrow his guild sign in order to get in.
I was gonna say his signet for his life sounds like a pretty fair trade. He can probably get another one. And honestly, right now, he probably doesn't want to be associated with the Rakdos anyway. After all, it just nearly got him killed.
That's why I was saying that.
Yeah, like
I think
even
that's
if
the most bad out of him.
even if it doesn't help us, it's an option we didn't have before. So I think that's pretty valuable.
The way it's looking to me is your signet is causing some problem right now. If you'll let me borrow it for some time, we can forgive these debts.
And he just looks down at it and goes, "We're not really allowed to give these away. Can you..." And he just like, "Can you hide that it's mine? If this is traced back to me, you're not giving me my life back, you're just giving me a day."
How much of the magic of these things do I know?
The guild signets are basically people's ID cards. Like, it has the information about the person. Like, that's actually something that has already happened with Tavr. Like, when he went in previously to check up on the information at the prison, he had to scan his signet in and be identified to be able to access those records.
Yeah.
And you've all experienced similar things. Like, accessing records in your guild hall almost always requires, like, a scanning of your signet. It's literally like a keycard.
Escher, what terrible things are you telling me to do? I'm gonna say... Should I just say yes?
Like, yes, you can disguise it?
I'm just gonna say... I assure you, we will ensure that it will be untraceable. And I do not believe we will be needing it for more than a day.
Yeah, just give me a deception check.
He's
Good
sneaky.
job, Connor.
And he just kind of, like, looks back down at his finger, and then after a moment, he slides it off and hands you the ring. And we're good now? No more gold?
Yes. And I will be sure to return this in... What's the time frame we want to go to the Rix Maadi? Do we know how long we have until the siege happens?
Probably a day at max.
Yeah, you don't know the specifics, but it seems like it's going to be shut down pretty soon.
Well, weren't Gideon and Tavra called back to their stations, like, now?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm gonna say, if we can't get in there in 1 week's time, I don't think we are worthy adventurers. So I'm just gonna say, be here in 1 week. I'll have this returned to you then.
And he just looks at you, shrugs, and goes, "Well, alright, I guess." Then he just kind of, like, wanders off, rubbing his finger where the ring was, and goes up to the bar and gets a drink. And Weirun kind of looks at him and pours him one, and he goes, "On the house! You shouldn't have been stabbed here."
Anyway, brother. I was hoping I could speak with you.
Of course!
And, Tom is gonna think about it for a second, and he just goes, I've made a connection.
About what?
And then I'm just gonna, like, pull my bag up so it's, like, just, like, to above the counter, and, like, just, like, kind of flash the worm part at him.
And he looks at it, and he kind of gives it like this strange look down, and he just goes, I don't like this. I don't know what it is, but... And you see as he kind of like grips his head where the where he has his one broken horn, and he just goes, "Put it away, put it away!"
Yeah, no, I will.
And as you kind of like shove it back into your bag, he like starts breathing a bit more steadily again, like taking some deep breaths, and he goes, "What was that?"
Apologies, I didn't think that would happen. It, well, my compatriots had found it a while back, but it has given me a connection to Korgeth. Is there anything you know about them?
And he just looks at you and goes, "I don't know the name Korgeth, but that's thing. I told you, our kind, path of giants, we lose ourselves with time. That is the feeling of losing ourselves. Whatever you made a connection with is not good. You're not defecting to the Gruul like Borborigmos, are you?"
No, of course not. I would never do such a thing. But, I was told that with this, I have a chance of at least controlling it. You see, I know you mentioned a cleric of worms deep into the Gruul territory. Well, through this, I've been offered to become one.
Who offered you that? Little is known of the Cleric of Worms.
It's it's an envoy of Korgeth.
And he kind of looks at you and goes, "I can tell you to an extent where the cleric is. I don't know exactly, but I know which direction. But as far as I know, any who's traveled to find him doesn't come back. Whatever has told you this, well, they might be seducing you into a reality that isn't quite as pretty as you realize."
Well, I already took the level of cleric, so
But yeah, I'll just go. I see. Well, thank you for your input nonetheless. And then I'll just grab my tankard of the Wyvern's Venom and just kind of like hold it up and then take a big swig.
And he kind of just looks, he clinks his thing to you and goes, and like he kind of like grabs your hand a little bit and just like very softly goes, if you do figure out a way to control this, let me know."
Of course, brother.
And then he kind of puts it back down and goes, "All right, now who needs another drink?" As he kind of like resets himself to his normal jovial mood.
Gotcha. And I'm just gonna stay here at the bar drinking that.
Fair enough.
Kai.
Yeah, Kai was just kind of off to the side, pretending like he's not hearing any of this.
Kai, why'd you have to take that fucking heart?
Listen, I told him it was his choice. I was going to destroy it, or he could take it. This was completely consensual.
Okay, okay.
I swear Clara's the only one that's maintained any semblance of good in this group.
I've done nothing wrong.
I just saved a man's life.
Kai's done plenty of good, but that does not mean that his alignment reflects that.
The only thing wrong I've done is against Escher.
You know, Aldrich has not done anything inherently bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pablo thus far has been trying to be as good of a Boros as he can while also being in the Demir.
Wait, what?
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 What's the what for?
What?
You're in the Demir?
What's a Demir?
Well, I mean, we just told Fallish, might as well tell everyone else.
To be fair, we did not tell Fallish. Fallish assumed, and nobody said no.
Too much.
I said
how can I
no.
say no? I don't even know what the Demir is. Like, Aldrich legitimately doesn't know.
How would they know?
I mean, we're not being suspicious.
Don't be
Be
suspicious.
suspicious? Don't be suspicious.
DM man,
Yes.
for the thing I was hired to do, what were the instructions for it again?
Give me a second to pull that up.
At Boros, they didn't tell you when this lockdown's gonna be over, right?
Nope.
Wait, didn't we, at the end of the long rest, didn't they say the curfew is lifted?
No.
No.
Alright, so you have...
I thought they did too, Kai.
Nope. Weehee.
No. So there are people who have been given specific tasks of where to go. No one has heard that the, lockdown has been restricted yet. So let me send this to you on Discord.
Okay.
Wait, what is this?
This is something that Connor had accepted a contract for.
Gotcha.
How many contracts are you a part of?
I'm the contract man.
And yet my code name is Paperwork.
I don't make paperwork. I make very valid contracts that are worthy of time and doing.
That's paperwork.
Nah.
Are you saying that in exchange for money, you write things on paper?
So, like, am I
That
donuts,
constitutes a
or...
lot of work.
I'm the gun show.
Sure you are.
The
You're
boulder.
Now go eat more pastries that are deep fried in a circular shape.
Okay, but not because you tell me to.
Alright, Connor, I just sent it to you. Sorry, I had to make sure that none of my meta notes that explain what these things are for were in the message I sent you.
I'm sorry, I meant what I was hired by the Boros to do tomorrow morning.
Oh!
Yeah, he does actually have a job he was contracted for.
Yes, so it's specifically you were told to head to the prisons tomorrow, and you were told to prepare speak with dead.
Alright, so I am at some point just gonna be like, well, I need to get to the prisons tomorrow morning. I'm pretty wide awake right now, so I'm just gonna wait it out, but I think we should prepare to be ready to leave at a moment's notice.
That sounds reasonable.
I got all my stuff in my pouch here as she taps her, like, belt/pouch of her equipment.
Alright. It is nighttime, but, like, the bar is kind of winding down just because everybody has been drinking for hours and hours. So, if you all want to just wait it out at the tavern, you can basically take another long rest. There's no benefits to it, it's just fast travel time to morning.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything we can do.
Well, wait, I thought only some of us were going to the prison tomorrow.
Well, is there anything else you would like to do instead?
Is the whole party going to the prison tomorrow, or is it just some of us?
I'm not.
I think it should just be me, the cops, and Kai, because we're the only people that could really be justified going to a Boros place, and also not annoy them to attacking us too, since they're, preparing for war. And Clara shouldn't go anywhere near it. So I think Clara, Escher, and Aldrich should go take Krenko and then do the bounty reward thing, as that seems like it might be able to be done at the same time.
Wait. So we are keeping him dead then?
Well, to get the bounty, he has to be alive, and you have Revivify, right? So I'll just give you the spell components I have if you agree to go get the bounty after you do the questioning of him.
He
has
is
to be
gentle
alive.
reposed, so the bounty for him did specify alive and limbless.
Look, I'm not cutting the man's limbs off.
Why not?
I've dissected enough corpses, but I prefer them to not be alive when I do so.
Then just come off beforehand.
That's a little barbaric for my tastes.
I know y'all really want this bounty, but, can't we just keep him dead?
And perhaps he could be more valuable to us without turning in his bounty.
Then you two can figure that out. Gets the reward or whatever. When I come back from this, depending on how successful it is and how successful you are, perhaps getting the bounty, I can look past it for a time. But if we need to get resources to get in here, we're getting the damn bounty.
Then perhaps we should wait until you return so we know what the situation is.
Okay, fine. Then that's fine.
Yeah, I just figure because once we bring him back, that's kind of irreversible. And plus, if he tries any shit, having the most people here is probably smart. I don't think bringing back a dead gang leader is the wisest move. Also, we shouldn't do that here. We don't have a place to do this.
He has escaped from a lot of places before. We need a place that is a little more secure than a public tavern.
Maybe then, if things are going to open up tomorrow, we could try to find... We know an old hideout that's abandoned now.
I also think we shouldn't bring him back at all, so...
Don't forget that... Don't forget that Gideon and I were tasked with bringing him in.
Mhm.
Well, there's only one Cranko and different options, so...
Yes, and one of them relates to us actually keeping it secret that we're not.
I think regardless of what we do, we need to find a safe place to hole up for a little bit. So maybe the three of us will try to do that, or however many people are going with us. Half of us try to find somewhere to hold up, and then the rest and then while you guys do that, and if we can if we can't find anywhere else, we just take over the stronghold that we just raided, and we don't go into the basement.
Perhaps if you could find a safe location near the circus that we can watch to see how the siege plays out.
We could certainly try. That sounds incredibly dangerous, but I mean, we can give it a shot.
If we're going into the circus either way, it would be nice to be near it so that we could see an opening if it arises.
Is the circus Rix?
The Gore House, but I'm not gonna just say the Gore House out loud.
Yeah, but also when you say the circus, people know you're talking about the Rakdos.
To the theater. Oh wait, shit. Ah, fuck.
That's the Rakdos.
To the hat store.
Why?
That could be
Rakdos
first
has
district.
the funny hats.
See, and Clara's objective is to not go anywhere near the prison, because although she is it, I'm pretty sure she thinks that the one officer guy thinks she's Rakdos and a bad person, so...
Yeah, so then the three of us will try to find somewhere safe to hole up for the time being until we can work something safer out.
I mean, we did clear out that Cranko place. We could just stay there.
I did just say that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just repeating what you said.
No, I think that's
your idea is great. We should go with that.
I think if we can find anywhere better. Because it's like Connor was saying, if we can find somewhere a little closer to where we want to go, it might be ideal, but if we can't find anything that's not inconspicuous enough, then that could work. Because my only fear about going there is that there might be other people, like other gangs and stuff, that want to take that over now that Cranko's gone, and we don't want to deal with them.
But they don't know he's gone yet.
They're gonna figure it out.
They will.
They're gonna figure it out. And then the question becomes, do we want to be there when they do?
There is a goblin that got away.
Yeah. So, that's what I'm saying. We're gonna have a lot of time. Let's just see what we can figure out, and then if we can't figure anything out and we can't find anything good and we all roll like shit, then we just go there.
Alright,
Sound reasonable?
Yeah, so what is the specific split up that's happening in the morning?
What I was trying to figure out.
Me, Cops, and Kai go to the pig pen, and then everyone else goes and searches for a safe house.
Alright. And is there a specific area you're starting to look for the safe house, I guess is my question.
Well, because, I mean, Connor, you were saying you wanted to go near the Rakdos place. Like, how far is that from us?
Isn't that 2 hours?
So the Gore House is about an hour from where you are. The warehouse is about 2 hours. Or sorry, no, the warehouse is 45 minutes from where you currently are. The Gore House is about an hour from where you are. What other places were you looking for?
Well, I have to go to the prison, so...
The prison is about 2 hours from the millstone.
So we'll just leave 2 hours before I need to be there.
Yeah, and so if you want us to look around the circus, we can do that, and if we don't find anything, that still gives us plenty of time to come back here and check the hideout that we cleared.
Yeah.
Okay. That works.
Alright. Anything else you would all like to do before the morning?
I would
like to ask a question to the group.
Yes.
If we're going to the Boros tomorrow, then, and I point to the bag that has Cranko in it, and I'm just gonna be like, What do we do with him? Are we turning him in?
No. We might still need him.
For what purpose?
I mean, to make bread with the flour.
To get us in places we need to go, because he has a knack for getting in and out of places he doesn't belong.
I'm against bringing him back to life unless it's in a prison.
Fox.
Flour, you mean? To make bread.
What?
Yes.
You have to let the dough rise to make bread. So if we raise the dough to make bread, we will have bread then. But to do that, we must raise the dough. If you wish to keep it as flour, that is your prerogative. However, keeping it as flour means we cannot sell the bread.
Guys, I don't understand
making
what you're
money
saying.
off of this.
Okay. If we do not give the flour to the pig pen, then donuts could be outed.
Here's the thing. There's nothing against, is it not in your, do you not get, like, the bounty too if you turn it in?
I
think
don't
it's
know.
It's their job.
Would you not get a bonus or something for bringing him in, I guess?
It's possible considering it's who he is. But
Okay, so, are you having this conversation, like, out loud in the corner or something?
I suppose.
yeah, I would actually, go over here, to where Fox is.
Or
Perhaps if you two are bakers, you would not get paid per se for bringing the dough. But since there was a freelance worker you brought in, the sale price could be increased in order to cover the services of the freelancer.
So, let me just make this decision very easy. The bakery is not buying right now. They are not looking for more product. They will not accept more product right now. Your bread is useless.
Yeah.
Hi, why are you such a negative person?
That is the message I was given. It also just occurred to me to actually tell you this.
Oh.
It was an resort. My contacts at the bakery.
I'm gonna have a fucking stroke.
The bread market is in shambles, you say? The price of grain has dropped. Bakers are going to lose their jobs. They cannot afford to pay the
I'm
bread.
just gonna slap one of the wooden tables or boxes next to us and just be like, I'm giving this motherfucking flour.
Does anyone smell toast?
No, you're 2 steps ahead. Get back to we're at bread.
And while you're all having this discussion, Wirun kind of just calls over to you and he goes, "If you're talking about going back to Nogra's, please pick me up some more of those pastries."
That's exactly what we're talking about. I will.
So you don't have any more?
No, I do.
I'm just gonna
doing the
look
box.
back at him and yell out,
Alright, well,
the
you know what?
bread
Fuck
economy is
you."
in shambles.
Why don't you ever ask about me, Esther?
You guys, you scare me. You're big.
In fairness, I did pick you up like an item the last combat.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, can we say the night finishes and we move on to the day?
Alright, so
So we're not bringing so we're not going to the bakery with the flour?
No!
The flour
No,
will
go
stay
to
in
the pen
its
with the flour.
flour state. It does not need to rise.
keep the
I
flour
think-
as it is, and then
And
if
give it
we
to the pig
change our
pen.
mind, we can always change
Save the 300 gold worth of yeast.
Okay.
So
I'm
we can
going
just
to
keep
kill
the
myself in
flower.
real life. Okay.
DM
you-
man.
Yep.
I also wanted to spend the time beforehand doing some studying of the books we took, but we can do that afterwards, so I don't, slow things down.
we can message about the specifics of that afterwards, and at the end of the session, I will have you give me either an investigation or an Arcana check.
Okay, there are a few also ritual spells I want to cast on them too, so I'll just list those out after.
Sure. Alright, so in the morning, as the sun is rising, it's probably around like 5:30. It rises early in the day this time of year, and the loudspeaker system that has been disseminating the full citywide updates to the masses kind of comes on as the sun is rising, and everyone is able to hear.
Military law is in effect, effective immediately. You are free to roam the streets and perform normal legal operations of business during daylight hours. If the sun is down, and you do not have a specific permit or job that requires it, such as being in the Golgari Waste Collective Unit, you are not permitted to roam the streets at night. Any who are found will be immediately arrested. Stay safe out there, and avoid the Rakdos Guildhall.
Go there.
So anyway, to Rakdos Guildhall.
Aye, Captain.
Yo, I was just saying, I love me some Rakdos Guildhall.
Alright.
Anyway.
We're leaving?
Yes.
Okay, I want to make a check to find a safe house. I'm doing it.
Yeah, so I need the
Same.
ones who are searching for places to all give me an actually, I'm going to make this a skill challenge.
Who's got the dead goblin? Before we do anything.
That is also something that I would like to know, considering that if the Boros members are going to the prisons with the flower, that
we are not in game right now. For the love of God, please just use normal words.
I'm bringing this corpse to the Boros.
Okay, are we sure that he can't help us alive? Because he could be a backup to get us into Rix Maadi.
I think he's right now. It is too much of a risk to be associated with. I know he's not officially Rakdos, but to be associated with such a high value Rakdos associate.
I just figured that a high value Rakdos associate can get us in.
He may be able to, but again, risk. He also might just try to kill us all immediately for killing him.
And if Gideon and I are the ones who bring him in, then maybe we can go and talk to him later if they actually decide to bring him back. We can
You
still
think
get
they might?
information from him. Yeah.
How long does Speak with Dead work?
Or
I
Speak
guess-
with Dead.
I was
So
thinking
Speak
more
with
of like...
Dead works once.
See, I was thinking more along the lines of if we show up at Rix Maadi dangling this guy in front of us and we're like, look, we got this little goober back for you, let us in, that they might.
That sounds like a horrible idea. Look who we killed and brought back just for you.
We don't tell him that, we bring him back alive.
Hey, tell him! What the fuck do you mean?
Not if we brought him back. If we bring him back to
You're
life,
saying we
he
bring
owes
him
us.
back and just be like, please, oh please don't tell them that we're the one who put you in the dirt for like a day.
I mean, we could tell him, like, hey, we brought you back to life, we can put you back in the ground, or you can owe us one. Same thing we did with this guy.
I don't trust him like that. I don't trust like that.
If we have other options to get in, then take them. I'm just trying to make sure we have as many backups as we need.
We already have one backup, I think. Let's just do it. Let's just go.
Alright, if we'll
Let's
get money
go.
for him, then yeah.
No more planning, just go.
Alright, take him.
All right, so we're going to start with a skill challenge to find a potential hideout for those who are doing it. So the three of you, so Lizzie and Escher and Aldrich, this is going to be a pretty straightforward skill challenge. You are searching the 10th district for a potential safe house that you could use in the upcoming days. We are going to do this in... You tell me the skill you would like to use. I will set a DC according to that. You will either succeed or fail. If you succeed high enough, it will count as 2 successes. If you fail hard enough, it will count as 2 failures. You need 4 successes before you reach 3 failures. The better you do, the better the safe house. The worse you do, you'll find out.
Okay.
Who would like to give the first check?
Some of mine are real high, so I can do one pretty easy. Perception.
All right, so yeah, give me a perception check and explain what you're trying to do with it.
Literally just trying to find places that I like. Obviously, you can tell places that are run down. I'm trying to look for evidence that places haven't been entered in a while, like maybe abandoned buildings that don't have a lot of traffic going in and out from people.
Sure.
I'll try not looking for one in particular. I'm just trying to get a sense of how many are in the area.
And that brings me to my next question. Which area are you searching?
Didn't we just say the 10th district or something?
Well, 10th district is the entire city.
Oh, yeah,
The precinct near Rix Maadi, or the precinct that Rix Maadi's in.
6th precinct, got it.
Yeah, or like between there and the carnival thing they wanted to go to, or whatever that was.
The carnival thing is Rix Maadi. That's what
Yeah.
they're talking about.
Okay, sure. Then yeah, around that.
Okay, yeah, so you're searching the 6th precinct. Give me a perception roll.
Alright. Normal, come on, baby. Oh my god. Okay. That was literally on the middle of 2 of them. But, whatever, it's a 5. Plus 7, that's a 12.
Yeah. Alright, so that is a success. Perception was only a DC 10.
Nice.
So you're able to kind of explore, and you're able to find, there's a lot of places in Precinct 6, which it kind of seems like once a place has been ransacked during a, like, Rakdos raid or a revelry event, they don't come back, like, the buildings get pretty much completely razed, and it's often less expensive to just relocate.
Okay.
So that is 1 success. Lizzie or Aldrich, who would like to give the next check?
I will.
And which skill are you using? You can no longer use perception.
Okay. I'm going to use history, to check my memory of any, like, businesses that could be in the area that I had known may have, like, recently shut down or vacated a premise recently.
Gotcha. Yeah, that is something that you should be able to do, especially since you were doing a lot of the kind of running back and forth for deliveries for your family. That's something that you would definitely potentially know, so give me that history check.
Come on, baby.
God damn, we both suck.
It's another low pass, but it is a pass nonetheless. So you are familiar. It's kind of the same idea. In this area, if enough violence or enough revelry comes to a specific area, a lot of businesses relocate. They'll clear out their stock and then just abandon the building. So you're familiar with quite a few that in the last, like, 5-6 months have just kind of been abandoned. And you do have a little bit of overlap between what you found and what Escher has found. Aldrich, what skill would you like to use?
Because I was about to take the two that they had took it. Trying to like rack my mind to. Give me 1 sec, sorry. Maybe. Any explanation I could think of is something similar to what the other two already have.
You can always try to reflavor one of your skills. You can also do things like use spells to, like, kind of circumvent. Like, if you can come up with, like, a creative use of a spell that would do the same thing, that can be, like, an auto-success, something like that. You just need to come up with something that you are doing to search.
Oh, so the idea that I had in general was using my my background to get in contact with the person I know at the architecture firm to see if they know any condemned buildings, and I was gonna communicate that to them with the animal messenger, so they can meet up with me and give me like a list of condemned buildings in the area.
Absolutely. You know what? Since you're trying to meet up with a contact, give me a persuasion check for that.
Okay. Why isn't this open up? Oh, I have to refresh my page. Like it's not popping up when I roll. While it's doing that, Zach, you could just go to my page and just press persuasion for me.
I'll do a persuasion roll for you.
Thanks.
Oh,
We're garbage.
Alright, so you are able to get in touch with your former coworker, and you're able to meet up with him, and he shares a little bit of information with you. And he does give you some information, not about condemned buildings, but about a work site that they are planning to start on soon, which has basically a foundation, but no building on top of it. But he does note that it has a kind of like a dugout basement beneath it. The reason that the firm was called on for it, though, is that that basement has recently, like the bottom has breached, and there are undercity, like rodents that are infesting it. So that's the only one he's able to share, and he shares that like it might be a bit like it's causing them a lot of issues because they need to clear out the infestation before they're able to start building.
Gotcha.
Escher, that's going to bring us back to you. What is the next skill you would like to use on this challenge?
I want to use Insight.
In doing what?
Because, so Insight is more of like sense motives and for reading people. So Escher's going to try and I'm trying to pull a Sherlock Holmes here, where he's trying to read the crowds of like the people that are in the district and he wants to try and so he probably has a couple candidate buildings in mind, and he wants to. I want to see if he can deduce the reasons that some of these are abandoned to identify which one is the safest. So he's trying to avoid ones that might be harboring criminals or might have like infestations. So I'm trying to use insight to figure out which buildings are seeing the least activity but are not dangerous by seeing where people are going.
All right. Yeah, this one's going to be a little bit harder, but yes, you can totally do that.
Okay. So, got a high bonus here. Let's just roll above a 10. Thanks, game. 18.
An 18 is definitely a success. So you are able to kind of like, you have probably like 3 buildings that were like your biggest candidates so far, and you're able to kind of like look at the crowds around them, and you hear with one, like there are like some local kids playing around, and they are daring each other to go into one of the buildings because it's haunted, apparently. You hear about like another building where like you can constantly see like there's some like sewer grates near it, and they're kind of like completely blocked up. There's some like water coming out of the like it clearly is like completely dilapidated. And then the last one mostly just seems like it's a business that has closed recently and no one has moved in to take it yet.
Oh, okay. That sounded pretty good. Okay, cool. So we got another pass.
So that is so far 3 passes and 1 failure. So, Clara, we're gonna come to you next.
Okay, I'm gonna use Stealth to go peek around some windows and doors and see if it looks like there's any, like, signs of people, like, squatting in buildings.
Gotcha. Alright. You also have a few buildings that you kind of have in mind, so you're going to go around to each of those and see how subtly you can look in and see what's going on inside. So give me that stealth roll. Alright. As you are going up to one of these buildings in kind of greater Rakdos territory, one thing that you all have noticed throughout this, the Boros street presence has been overwhelming. Like, there are Boros up and down every single street. And while you're trying to kind of just, like, look in through the windows, you kind of, like, slip a little bit, and a Boros, like, Legion soldier kind of comes up to you. He goes, "You don't look like you're up to good right now. Sneaking around Rakdos territory, goblin."
Whoa, okay.
Uh-oh.
What?
He's racially profiling you.
Oh.
Like a good Boros should.
Yeah.
Oh, hi. Yeah, I was just looking for my friend. We were kind of playing hide and go seek, and they're not in there. I'll just keep moving on.
Give me a deception check.
Hide and go seek.
And I'm just gonna
Get kidnapped. Okay.
No!
And he's just looking down at you, and he goes, "This is not a good time to lie to a soldier. Now
well,
tell me
I
what
have
you're
no
doing."
respect for authority. Just kidding. She does not say that.
Now you're gonna tell me what you're doing here, or you're gonna be coming with me. I know you heard the announcements over this morning. This is not the time to be out playing, not the time to be out skulking around, looking at old buildings. What
Honestly,
are you doing?
I'm just trying to find somewhere to hide. I don't want to be in the middle of any conflicts that happen.
Are you currently wearing your Is It signet?
Yes.
Alright. I'm gonna need one more deception check.
Technically, it wasn't a lie.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a lie.
Okay, you can do persuasion if you would prefer.
Yes. Yes!
Just barely.
He looks you up and down, and he just points at the ring and he goes, "Grunts don't get those. You have a job, you're an engineer. Go find a house or a tavern to stay at. If you're found in an abandoned building in the next few days, it's not going to end well for you." And he kind of goes back to his patrol.
Like, half salutes as formally as she can.
He just kind of gives a grunt and starts walking back to the street. "Don't let me catch you skulking around again. There are no second chances right now."
Oh.
Alright, that is 2 successes and 2 failures. Aldrich, what skill are you using next?
Aldrich will be using...
Sorry, 3 successes and 2 failures. So either way, this is the last roll.
Oh, gee, so much pressure.
If I knew we were that close to the end, I would have tried a different skill.
I did say at the beginning it was 4 successes, 3 failures.
Well, I wasn't listening with my good ears, okay?
That sounds like not Zach's fault.
Aldrich will try to use...
However, fuck you, Zach. Oh, wait a minute. Not going to change anything.
Aldrich will try to use survival and look with... no, it wouldn't work. He's not starving. I was gonna say he was gonna try to look for a great density of the mental wisp, where the densities are, or just survival.
If you focus in really hard, you might be able to see that. But from your experimentation that you've done so far, focusing on it enough makes you hungrier a lot faster. So right now, you're alright. If you focus on it too hard, you might end up, becoming famished.
Gotcha.
So, would you like to do that?
No. So,
do you have any ideas?
Let's try. Aldrich is gonna try to use his acrobatics and bound on top of buildings, kind of uses spider climbing to peek in and look how decrepit inside it is, if they look abandoned or not.
Alright, yeah. Climbing on top of buildings and on the walls to get better vantage points. Absolutely. Give me that acrobatics roll.
My god. What the fuck? How can 3 people not pass 4 skill checks?
And yeah, that is going to be a failure. And similar to when Lizzie was looking in, as you're kind of climbing along the sides of these buildings, climbing up them, you hear kind of a shout from below, and you just hear, "Someone's trying to break into those buildings! Might be Rakdos. Might be something getting ready for fight." And you look down and you see 2 soldiers rushing towards the building you're on the side of. What would you like to do?
Aldrich is going to try to run like hell, and like he's going to be on the absolute top of the building, and is like bounding from building to building, and so they're going to use his new feature of riding mass, like act as like a platform between the buildings, so he could just run riding mass, so it's like
right, because that gives
really
you
jumping.
like a hover speed, right?
Yeah.
All right, you know what? You have a speed of like 100 feet when you're dashing, right?
Yep.
Okay, I need you to give me a stealth roll to see how well you can shake them. You are absolutely outrunning them. It's mostly a matter of can you avoid being seen by any further patrols.
Oof.
No, you cannot.
Yo, what the fuck?
And, like, right as you're outrunning this first one, you hear another shout from below as it's less the soldiers shouting at you. You hear a scream from below as a woman shouts out, "The bugs are attacking again! Golgari attack!"
So what Aldrich is going to do is that he's going to stop on the roof where he hears that and just trying to like stay right there and then send out a summoned beast fly off in another direction.
Wait, you're gonna do what and then fly off?
No, I'm not going to fly off. So Aldrich is stopping. He hears that. He's going to stop in that moment, and he's going to, like, wherever he is on that rooftop, he's just going to stop because they're following on the ground, right? They're not on the roofs.
It was someone on the ground screamed Golgari attack.
No, but the
soldiers?
Soldiers were they're following
the
on the ground.
soldiers were on the
ground,
ground, like navigating through the streets, yes.
Okay, so Aldrich is going to stop on the rooftop that he was on when he heard that, and he's going to use Summon Beast to send out like a diversion.
Okay.
In another direction, and he's just going to stop and just stay where he is until he thinks that everything is passed over.
All right. So that has a range of 90 feet. Do you have the 200 gold for it?
Oh, it's 200 gold. Never mind. He's gonna instead just use the regular crawl.
All right. And we did get a new day, and you weren't starving. Did you roll for your recharge?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
And
yeah, so
I've depleted my recharge now. I only have one charge left again.
All right. Just a reminder, you do have to roll if you run to 0, and it can be destroyed.
Yeah. I have one charge.
Yes. So you, like, as you hear this, you kind of stop on the roof, and then next to you, you summon one of these large wing crawl that, like, are even a little bit taller than you, and it just, like, it just appears next to you, growing one of these crawl out of your swarm, and then it kind of bows to you, and you hear in your head, you kind of, like, hear this, like, chittering voice in your head.
Zach, I don't know if you're talking, but we don't hear anything.
What is my command?
There you go.
As I point off in the distance, it says, "Go and evade all enemies, but try not to attack them." As it, like, just evade, just go out of town.
Understood.
And you see as it, like, kind of just flies, and you're on like a 4-story building. It kind of flies down onto the ground using its wings to break the fall next to where the woman is screaming. Oh, go ahead.
No, I meant like on top, like from where I am. So it's like it's continuing. It's like the path of where I was like bounding from.
Gotcha.
So like
yeah. So it just takes off and starts flying forward off of the rooftop, and it is going to keep flying forward. And you hear shouting from below as the soldiers kind of catch up to this woman who's screaming and pointing at the crawl now flying overhead. And peeking over the roof, you see as the 2 soldiers who were chasing you get joined by 2 more soldiers, and they are now all chasing down this crawl that is flying away. None of them are looking at the place where you stopped.
Okay. He's just gonna like wait it out for a little bit more, and then slowly find a little corner to kind of shimmy down and walk on the street.
All right. So this is going to take most of your guys' morning, and now we are going to swap over to the other group, who is heading over to the 2nd Precinct Barracks, about a 2-hour walk from the Millstone Tavern. And you can see immediately there's something new about this. Kind of floating next to the entrance of this are 2 Boros angels who are floating, like, kind of just hovering next to the area with, like, swords drawn and ready at their chest. And as you approach, one of them calls down, "State your business."
Before we reach this point, couldn't I have said me and Kai talked a bit and we both have one of the sending stones?
Oh yeah, totally.
And I'm just gonna say, if I start panicking on the sending stone, that means I need you to come in and make a distraction. Start being a nuisance and demanding your interview or something like that.
Understood.
Yeah, you can absolutely
anyway.
have that conversation in the 2 hours leading up to getting here. But yeah, so one of the angels kind of calls him, "State your business."
I'm just gonna like walk up and like hands behind my back, sort of like do like a formal nod and say, "Fox Machine, contracted by the Boros to cast Speak with Dead on the executed prisoners."
And they nod and they go, "Very good. Join your colleague inside. Office straight to the back."
And I'm just gonna whoop, whoop, whoop.
And you see the woman who is kind of manning the desk, and she looks up at you, kind of like with like a sad, sweet smile, and goes, "We're gonna need you to scan your guild signet. Extra precautions right now and all."
Well, of course, and then I'll like present it and everything.
Yep, and she you kind of like mark it down into a logbook, and as you press it in, like the information about you, like your full name, your rank with the Orzhov, kind of just fills out into the book. And she takes it back and goes, "Very good. Yes, please head straight back, and Captain Printa will lead you to the prisoners who need to go. One of your..." And you see, as you're pressing into the book, there is a name on the page before. You see it is another Orzhov member, where yours, the title says Squire Knight of the Orzhov. This one says Knight of Punishment, Yusef Vronik.
I see. Alright, and I'm just like gonna sort of do a nod, and then I'll like sort of walk on back.
Alright. Yeah, she opens the door and just kind of like points straight back. And as you head back to that office, you can hear two voices kind of speaking from within.
Did we go with him, or are we all still outside?
That is up to you all.
I'm thinking you should be separate from me.
Yeah. I think we go in, like, right after him.
Yeah, so, like, you all
Like,
show
not
up, like, 5 minutes after.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Kai is still just waiting outside, still separate from the donuts.
Yes.
Gotcha. Alright, so we're gonna start with Fox going in. Fox, how have you ever met your uncle in person?
This is like as a child sort of thing. I haven't met them ever since becoming an adult.
Understood. And so as you enter, you see a man kind of sitting behind a desk wearing a full Boros captain's uniform. And you do see there is like a name placard on his desk that says Captain Machine. And sitting across in one of the kind of like plush chairs, you see a knight decked out in full Orzhov plate and carrying a tax blade. And
As I walk in, I'm just like gonna sort of do the nod and announce myself and then like sort of walk up.
do you say your name?
Yeah.
And as you do, the captain kind of just like looks at you with like just like a little bit of surprise in his eyes. And actually, can you give me an insight check? He does a pretty good job of hiding it, but he obviously was not expecting to see any extended family today. And, like, you can see there's definitely just, like, a hint of discomfort in his face as you say your name and enter. And, as you do, the other knight also kind of turns to you and just speaks. Ah, yes. I think I've heard of you, little rising knight. So, you'll be performing the rites with me today?
Indeed, I shall. I don't believe I caught your name yet.
And he holds out a hand. Knight of Punishment, Veronica. And
I'm gonna like sort of shake it and then, you know, give my own not title yet, but potential title, then sort
Yeah,
of like a
it-
nod.
So right now you're a Squire Knight of Lepidophy.
Yeah. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
Squire of Lepidophy.
All right. And as you sit down, the captain just goes, all right, let's just catch you up and get this over with. The prisoners will be executed in about 20 minutes. At that point, you are to cast Speak with Dead. We currently have 2 Rakdos prisoners. So, 2 of you should make this a quick note. There will be a soldier down there who knows what questions must be asked. They will guide you on what to ask the lost soul. Once you do this, your commanding officers will be paid for your services. Are there any questions?
Will you be needing any further services with dealing with the corpses or any sort of ceremony to ensure they don't become undead, or are you just allowing them to the Golgari?
It is our understanding that, for the most part, decapitation will prevent undead reanimation. We will do that, throw them in the body bags, and wait for the Golgari pickup tonight. And He kind of looks back at Yusuf and goes, unless I do understand the Orzhov are in the company of purchasing corpses, if it might decrease your fees a little bit, that might be arrangeable. And Yusuf just kind of turns back and goes, I have no need for such things.
I will say that, of course, a decapitated one would not suit my needs very much at the time. I would care for I could perhaps purchase it for a discounted rate instead of cutting a margin into the services.
And he kind of looks at you and goes, oh, how the family has fallen. Very well. You wish to buy one?
How about
my brother was always in the business of writing contracts. If you've fallen down the same route, as long as you can sign that you won't be reanimating them, the corpse can be yours for a price.
So he's meaning specifically animate dead, right? Or is he speaking to bring them back to life?
You can ask him that. But he just said reanimation.
Are you talking about bringing them back to life or bringing them back to, or animate dead for... It would not serve me my job well if I were to just bring people back to life each execution I went to.
That one. We're executing prisoners so they're not on the streets. We can't have you bringing them back to life. Even if you are going to pay a cost.
Understandable. I can draft up the contract. I will not bring them back to life, be it via revivify, turn to life, all that sort of stuff.
Wonderful. And we have another knight here. He can bear witness to the contract, make sure it's properly signed. Draft that up, and after the interrogation is done, you can take the bodies. And then he kind of turns to Yusuf and goes, I'm sorry, would you mind if I had a moment with our new guest? And Yusuf just kind of nods his head and steps out of the office and shuts the door. And the captain looks at you and goes, I won't put it in any contract, but I had an agreement with your father. Your side of the family would not be setting foot in my business. This is a special time, and I never made that agreement with you specifically, so I will give you the benefit of the doubt. But I have cut ties with the Syndicate, and I do not wish to have my family relations be brought back to haunt me.
I apologize, Uncle. It was not my intention to open old wounds. I simply was accepting a job. If it would make you feel better, perhaps I can arrange to change which perch I'm working at to ensure this doesn't happen in the future.
That may be for the best. For both of us. And I am sorry about your parents passing.
At minimum, at least I'm still able to talk to them from time to time.
And you see as he, like, no insight check needed, he visibly shudders and just goes, "Yes, I believe this will be the end of our business. Please step out of the office."
Fox is just gonna sort of like nod, get up, and then start stepping out.
Alright, and that's about the 5 minutes for the donuts to show up.
Yes, indeed.
And as you approach, the angels kind of call down to you, state your business, and then they see the Boros signets and go, "Ah, yes, please report to the captain.
And I'll give him a nod.
If you're not here on assignment, please go to the lectern. Ragna is giving next steps."
Understood.
Fox, are you saying that into the sending stone?
That is the meta. Me out of combat saying that's how I'm just going with it.
Okay. Gideon and Tavro, as you enter, Meredith kind of looks up and goes, "Ah, you're back. Good. I know, Captain Machine was asking about you, Gideon. It will be good that you're safe in these trying times. And, Mr. Tavro, we've been seeing a lot of you as of late. It'll be good to have some extra hands around the barracks in preparation for the upcoming trials we face."
Indeed. However, we come here with a somewhat unrelated matter to the events that have transpired the past 24 hours.
Oh? And she, starts flipping through and goes, Gideon, I know you're on assignment for our branch, but I wasn't aware of Tavro, you doing any work for us. Never mind. What is it that you need? Or are you simply here to report to Captain Machine?
Yes, we have a criminal that we've captured.
And she just kind of, looks around and goes, are they being held outside?
And then, I'm just gonna be like, well, perhaps it'd be easiest to explain to Captain Machine. And I just kind of lift up a bag.
And you see as she looks and just gives, a kind of, knowing half smile and a nod and goes, yes, just, I believe he's in a meeting at the moment, so head in. As soon as his door opens, you're welcome to head in. And just please scan your signets for the sign-in. We're keeping track of all the ins and outs for the time being.
Of course, and I do so.
Okay.
And as you both sign in, as you're wrapping that up, you see as there is a well-armored Orzhov knight standing in the hallway, and after a moment, you see Fox step out of Captain Machine's office at the end of the hall.
Okay.
What would you like to
I
do?
have never seen these cops before in my life.
I believe we start heading over to Captain Machine. Wonk.
And as you kind of step in, he just looks up and goes, "Busy morning, although I guess nothing I shouldn't expect. Gideon, Tavro, glad you're able to report in. I was worried when I didn't see you yesterday. Well, Gideon, at least. Tavro, pleasant surprise. What can I do for you?"
Likewise, sir. Gideon?
Presenting.
We
Oh,
have
cool.
we've captured someone who's I think you would be very interested in seeing. As he just gestures to the bag that Tavro is holding.
And you see as he just shakes his head and sighs and goes, as if I didn't have enough fucking paperwork this morning. Alright, who's in there?
And I'll kind of just like pull out the head and go, Krenko.
And you see as like he's kind of been half distracted, like he's been doing paperwork. You see as he's like kind of holding a coffee and sipping it as he's talking to you. And as you pull out Krenko's head and say his name, he just drops the coffee, spilling it all over the desk, and just goes, holy fucking shit! Now today is a good morning once again.
I thought you might like this. Or we thought you might like this.
And he just goes, that's really him?
Yes, indeed.
Nearly died trying to get him, but this is him.
Oh, yeah, yes, I'm sure. And he kind of looks it over and he goes, I guess, you know what? We have some clerics here. I'm sure we can pay them a little extra. They have no morals. But if, Krenko's been on our list for, let's say, a long time. And he's been captured many times. Let's say we've learned that there are some precautions that need to be taken with him. If you're sure this is him, we're gonna need his body dealt with a bit before we bring him back.
Yes, and on that matter, someone we managed to have someone gentle repose him before we even left the scene.
Oh, you are making my day better and better, young man. I will be sure that your commanding officer hears about this. And you get in. You've been a bit slow with your investigations lately, but if it was working towards this... By God. Oh, I'm so happy. Oh, this is a beautiful day. Finally. Finally. And you see as he's just like, has this blissful smile on his face. And he goes, alright. Would either of you like to do the honors? As he starts like rummaging, through his desk and finds like you see as he pulls out a key and there's a weapons rack on the wall behind him and he kind of like unlocks the glass case and he pulls out what looks to be like a saw cleaver. He goes, would either of you like to do the honors considering you're the one who brought him in?
It was your assignment.
Me?
Yes.
Oh.
You've earned it, young man.
Wait. Just to be clear, is the honors here being able to saw off his limbs?
Yes, indeed.
Pretty sure it's decapitation.
No,
Gotcha.
he wants the head intact. This is the arms and legs must be removed.
It's all yours, Gideon.
Gideon just takes the cleaver and he just goes in one big swipe and he gets the left arm. And then
I think it's a saw. Like I think you have to saw it off.
Yeah, it's like a serrated like meat cleaver basically.
Reese Hoskins! I'm sorry.
I'll put that rice in the fucking hospice. For those uninvolved, the Phillies are currently up 7-0.
What the fuck?
Nice.
Anyway, back to the saw. So I take the cleaver thingy-majiggy, and I just kind of slowly start chopping off his left arm, and then once that is gone, once he chops it off and he sees it falls to the floor, Gideon just nods and goes, "Yes, this was worth it." And then he goes, and then he does the same thing to the other side.
One thing that is worth noting, that is not really what you were expecting. This is obviously a bit gory. Despite that, as you saw completely through his arm, there's no blood that comes out.
Oh,
and
that's interesting.
You see as Captain Machine kind of just nervously chuckles and says, I heard he had something of weird blood, but regardless,
yes.
Keep going.
Yes, this is rather peculiar. And then he just goes and does the same thing to the right arm, watches it fall to the floor, but with no blood coming out. And then, so how is Tavro holding this body, or is it just on the ground?
I assumed...
I just put it on the ground.
Yeah, I assumed it was on the ground. Not like some fucking Weekend at Bernie's, he's puppeting it up as you saw off the limbs.
Ow, that really hurts me.
Okay, and then, so yeah, then he just goes the same thing and cuts his legs off.
Alright, and as you remove all of the limbs, you just hear as he kind of calls out into the hallway, and he goes, Knight Vronic! If you wouldn't mind coming in here, I have another job for you. And, the, well-armored Orzhov Knight kind of heads in, and just looks down and goes, oh my. And he goes, and Captain Machine goes, I'm not sure if you know who this is, but we need them revived immediately. Please, do not reattach or heal any of the limbs. If you're able to revive him, apparently a gentle repose was cast immediately after death. So, you are capable of doing this, correct? And he kind of just goes, normally yes, but it would have to wait until tomorrow. Unfortunately, I have not prepared such magic today. I'm not sure if my colleague has such a spell prepared, but I'm more than happy to return tomorrow if you preserve the body. And I'd, of course, revive then for you. For the standard price, of course. That is cost of materials as well as a third tier spell. It would cost you just about 1,000 gold. And he goes, and he kind of just like sighs and goes, Fox, please come in here.
Did I hear the conversation?
The door was not shut. It was shut while they were sawing off the limbs. Like, you guys heard some, like, savage sawing sounds, but you couldn't really hear the conversation. Once the door was opened, it was kind of just open conversation.
So you guys know, like, the image of Merkel doing the weird walk across the stage? Fox is just gonna do that with a bag of gemstones coming in, like, hey, uncle, how's it going?
And he just looks at the bag of gems, and he goes, of course. He goes, Alright. You can revive him. 1,000 gold. I can get it from the coffers as soon as it's done.
Indeed, and I'll just like quickly write down like the services on like a notepad and then like tear off the receipt and put it on the door before I begin casting.
Alright. So are you going to cast Revivify? You cast Revivify targeting the limbless corpse. As you kind of like sprinkle this diamond dust around it, and like you see it kind of like shimmer with the magic as it kind of like touches the body and starts to spread out into the astral plane and the various different planes that it touches that a soul might go to after it departs. And you call out for the soul of Krenko. And as you do so, you feel the magic working in the spell for a few seconds. And then you see as the body begins to shimmer for a few seconds and melt away until all you can see is a pile of metallic bone and string laying on the ground.
What the
And I think
fuck?
that is a good place to end today's session.
Bone and string.
Imagine Commander Machine's face right now.
He is so fucking disturbed right now. You can see, like, there's no insight check needed. This man is traumatized.
Assign the corpse
Same.
do it, but
They told him to do that, so he's in the clear. Well, glad we didn't go through with that plan.
Yeah.
I'd like to just look up at like Yusef and just be like, I cast the spell.
You still owe me money.